This video is going to look at the edge management responsibilities. We'll begin by looking at building a fall restraint system and edge tether. You can see in this video I've got the end of the rope there as the clip-in point that I'll be clipped into. Figure 8 on that end, as well as a figure 8 into an independent edge anchor. I'll attach myself as my primary attachment with the Madrock Safeguard, which is a hands-free device. I make sure that I look at the diagram and get the brake in on the correct side of that. Once it's fed correctly, I can lock it in, have it right side up so that the release lever is on the left side, and the rope comes out of it, and test it to make sure it's working. I bring up the end of the fall restraint system, clip into that knot, one of that knot at the very end there, make sure that I don't have any additional slack at my feet, and that knot will stop me from going over the edge. I've made sure to make it short enough so that it won't quite get me over the edge, long enough it'll get me in position to do everything I need. In this case, you can see me helping a repeller over the edge here. Single repeller, so we're on basically a main and belay line here. Matt's repelling on a one single loaded main line. He's got a belay on the opposite line. I'm vectoring the rope and easing the edge transition there for him. Another thing that edge person sometimes does when we have a main and belay is help manage the slack in that belay line, which you see me doing right here. As we get into heavier loads, rescue size loads, we see a 2-person load there without a litter, and then here we see with a litter. As we start to add heavier loads and litters into the system, then of course the responsibilities of the edge folks get a little bit more challenging. We can see here that these folks are right out in the edge there, and there's quite a bend in their rope. Now they've tightened up, pre-tensioned those systems. They're working with a main and belay here, so they're just going to vector one of those lines as well. Got a pretty light patient here, so this attendant is able to pull out pretty well as those edge folks vector the rope. Even with a light patient, having 2 folks, when we have a rescue size load on the end of the rope, having 2 edge folks to help vector really seems like the right way to go. It's too much work for a single person to manage. When we change the orientation of the litter and change it to horizontal orientation, then it becomes more challenging still to do the edge vectoring. And so these folks are positioning themselves with the edge approach complete all the way out at the edge. They'll get out there, and once they vector, they ideally actually lift that patient off the ground. Again, fortunately, a very light patient there. The attendant's able to lean back, and he's going to need to really start to pull that basket to clear the edge. Very good. We'll see a little bit more challenge here with heavier patients, but there are other responsibilities for the edge folks too, including cleaning edge debris, securing edge protection, and facilitating the process of scouting and such. A little bit more strenuous here with a heavier patient. I can see the edge and attendants working quite a bit harder.